over again, would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point in time, I thought it was a crazy idea, and I don't know why I even thought of it.
Did you get that, Mare?
Don't touch the fence, Rochelle.
No.
Learn from my mistakes.
You turned it off?
I turned it off.
So this is where all the magic for the garden begins. Right?
Yeah, you can.
Hey, welcome. I'm Rochelle, and this is part 2 in my series of community building. I'm here today in Leesville, Batesburg with Farah, and she is, her channel is Wrangling
Rutherford.
Rutherfords. And why would you call it that?
Our last name is Rutherford, and I have a whole bunch of children.
There you go.
And I'm constantly wrangling
kids, chaos.
Yes. So.
But she was kind enough to invite me out here to her place today. So we're going to talk to her a little bit about her story, her homesteading journey, and kind of what's led her to where she's at right now and where she's going. So thanks for having me out.
Thank you for asking me.
If you wouldn't mind, just tell me a little bit about how you got where you are right now.
Oh gee, so we really started getting interested in growing our own food probably back in 2020, like most people did.
Okay.
We got chickens a little bit before that, and we had already had chickens in place, but really our gardening efforts and our desire to just grow more of our own food really blossomed once the grocery store shelves were empty.
Right. And I can imagine with several children that even, I mean, just, there's only 2 or 3 of us, and I noticed a huge increase. So, so go ahead, finish on your
So we started growing our first big garden that year in 2020, and I had some successes, but I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes.
Yes.
And so I started researching and went to my favorite source, YouTube. And started learning from others, and then that's how this garden came to me.
Right.
And so we've been growing our large garden for the past, so this will be my 3rd year in this space. We have chickens, turkeys, egg-laying chickens. We also do meat chickens. We have some guineas for fun, and we also have some sheep.
Nice. So you don't have goats. You've chosen
goats.
Sheep, and you don't have cows.
Not yet.
Now, are you raising your turkeys for food or for eggs or?
Food.
Food.
Food and entertainment.
Entertainment. Now, a lot of people, I think guineas get a bad rap. A little bit. Now they are loud.
They are loud.
But don't they have personality?
They do have personality, and they do a great job of keeping the ticks down and the bug population
Exactly.
down. And alerting you when somebody new drives up in your yard.
Now, have you always been here where you are now with your garden, or?
No, so this is still somewhat new to me. Actually, for a good chunk of time, well, let me back up. I was born and raised here in Batesburg, Leesville in South Carolina. The property that we're on now actually is my parents' property.
Is the mic on, Mary?
Yes, it is.
Sorry, I'll edit that out. Go ahead.
The property I'm on now is actually my parents' property.
Right.
Me and my husband actually spent about 6 years in Kansas City while he worked on his doctorate, and I worked as a nurse practitioner there.
Excellent.
And back in 2017, we moved back home to this area.
Okay.
And slowly I started getting interested in chickens and things like that, and we decided to keep chickens on my parents' property because where my house was in a HOA subdivision, I wasn't allowed to keep chickens.
Okay.
And I just wanted a few. I had very small dreams of just starting a colorful little egg-laying flock.
Exactly, that's how it starts.
And I just wanted a couple just for fun, a little hobby, and it just kind of grew from there. So we started keeping chickens on my parents' property, and then
which is where we are now.
Yes. And then we started gardening, and as we did more and more, my husband and I realized that we really love this lifestyle and we want to do more of it. But we can't really grow and expand on my parents' property. We definitely can't grow and expand on an HOA subdivision,
right?
So we put the house on the market.
Okay.
It's actually on the market right now.
Excellent.
Yes. Hopefully we'll get an offer soon.
Hopefully.
And over this past summer, we bought a camper and put it in the back corner of my parents' property. And we're currently living in the camper, tending to this area while we sell our house. when we sell our house, our goal is to buy a larger piece of land of our own and expand our efforts and ultimately have cows and all the things that make me happy.
Gosh, what an amazing story. So you have this big, beautiful house in suburbia, but it restricts you to what you can do.
Exactly. I was able to have like 2 small raised beds, and I was able to practice some gardening there, but anything more than that I wasn't allowed to do.
So you come out here, bring chickens, or your parents allow you to do some chickens here, then you grow in or move into adding the garden to it.
Yes.
And then you discovered that, wow, you really love this lifestyle.
Yes.
You want to do more of it.
Yes.
So you get a camper, move out of this big house in suburbia.
With 6 children. At that point in time, I thought it was a crazy idea, and I don't know why I even thought of it.
Move to this property in the back in a camper so you can do this lifestyle. What a tremendous, so you sell your house, so your goal then is to getting your own property.
Yes.
And then starting all this again.
Starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wow. So speaking of your garden, I would love for you to show me around, and we'll talk about what you got going on here, because this is my 4th year gardening, and I'm telling you right now, my garden doesn't look anything like your garden. Not even the
sure
slightest.
Your garden is lovely.
Oh, well, thank you, Farrah. But I'm telling you, my garden doesn't look anything like this. And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with your compost.
It might.
So I want to see your compost when we get there, and I want you to tell me how you're doing that.
Will do. Yes.
Okay. So. Hi, guys. Hi. Come on over. I was standing here just in awe of Farrah's garden.
Thank you.
This is your 3rd year?
Yes. Well, actually, this is probably my 4th
year
year going in this spot. 3rd year doing no dig techniques.
Okay. So it's no dig. You
Correct.
mulch
heavily with wood chips in the walkways and compost in the garden beds.
Okay. And that's your own compost mix that you make?
I did not start out that way, but I have grown into that.
You have grown into that.
Uh-huh.
So currently we are here at these massive strawberry plants.
So these strawberries are actually an heirloom variety of some type, I don't know.
Right.
They actually belong to my dad's grandmother, and they were growing in another spot on the property, and I dug some up and put them in this spot, and they've just gone
my
crazy.
gosh,
Yeah.
your dad's grandmother's strawberries.
Yes. Yeah. They
are beautiful.
They don't produce very much, and what strawberries they do produce are very small.
But
and the
still,
animals tend to get to them before we do. But yeah,
but still, I mean,
they
you're
belong to my
growing
ancestors.
from your ancestors. Okay, and these obviously are potatoes.
These are potatoes. Some of them are looking healthier than others.
Yes. I'm gonna go right here to the end of your garden bed where you have got, is this comfrey or borage?
This is borage, and this is just I call it my herb bed. This is calendula, borage. I have a comfrey here and lots of thyme, oregano. And this right here on the end, you'll get a kick out of this. This is Micah's garden.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, my son Micah, he's 6.
Look, he's got a strawberry.
He came to me and he said, Mom, I want to grow my own garden.
Look at this. Are these tomatoes?
That's a micro tomato.
Oh my gosh. Look at that.
So he
Whoops.
Okay, I got it. Yep.
Look at that.
So he grew all of this himself. I gave him one of my strawberry plants, and everything else he did by seed. He actually started that tomato by seed himself.
Oh my goodness.
And he's got carrots, beets, and some beans and lettuce.
How impressive.
And he comes
off the old block.
He comes out every day and waters it. It's so cute. Like,
those are really cute. And this is what your little one's got in his garden.
yes, these are Micah's micro tomatoes. He loves those. He asked me a few months ago, he's like, Mom, I want to grow a tomato in this pot.
Oh.
And I was trying to explain to him that you can't just grow a big tomato in a tiny little pot. And then I was like, but there are micro tomatoes.
Right.
And he's like, I want micro tomatoes.
That my jealousness is out right now.
Don't be jealous.
I'm so jealous of your garden. It's so lush and beautiful, and you know, my garden just does not look like this.
You can get there.
When I get home, I'm going to take a picture of mine and send it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. And what do we have here? What are these?
That is a type of basil. I think that's blue spice basil.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Where I swear I had little holes where something didn't grow.
Right.
Like I did have peppers there and they died, so I stuck a basil in its place.
That's a good way to do it. Now, is this a Moon and Stars?
That is a Moon and Stars watermelon that reseeded from last year, which I think is funny because I grew watermelons way over there last year and they reseeded over here.
Farrah, I've planted Moon and Stars 4 years. I haven't even gotten a plant. What do you do? What are you doing?
You want me to dig one up and give it to you?
No, that's sweet of you. I don't think I can grow them. I'm just gonna walk by and pretend I didn't see you got one there and there and there.
And this is a little patch of basil as well.
Yes.
I'm growing a lot of basil this year because you probably saw it too.
The basil tea?
The basil tea. We became hooked.
I haven't tried it yet. I just told Mary this morning I want to make basil tea.
Yes, ever since I saw basil tea on Roots and Refuge channel, we tried it out and the kids love it. My husband loves it, and we just expanded all of our basil.
Well, now we did. I have like I have a ton of different kinds. So I want to try it, but oh my goodness! And your squashes are looking great.
We'll have to edit that out.
Yeah,
No, we're gonna leave that in.
Flowers in everywhere, nasturtiums.
Now here's your tomatoes. You've just got tomatoes out the yin yang here.
I have 40 tomato plants. This trellis here is all cherry tomatoes.
Okay. And your onions. So you said you got Dixondale?
I did. I ordered Dixondale starts. Actually, let me tell you the whole story about onions. I ordered Dixondale starts back in November. I planted them all.
Yes.
I was super happy. I had like 500 starts.
Oh my gosh.
My fence around the chicken yard became, it did not work anymore. The chickens figured out a way to get out of it.
Yep.
And at that point in time, we just had a lot of stuff going on and weren't able to address it right away. And the chickens literally destroyed all 500 of my onions. So I bought more. Well, and I replanted in January, and this is what they look like.
What do you do to them? You just leave them? You just put them in the ground and let them grow?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah? Because some people like come out and pull the dirt off the top and stuff. You don't do any of that?
I did top dress it with some of my compost.
I have a similar story. I planted 100, and my chickens, I planted them and wore myself out planting them. I got up to go into the house to grab something cold to drink, and by the time I walked to the house and I walked back, all my onions were ripped up and out, and I just decided I wasn't going to grow onions.
I might have cried.
Yeah, I did. I didn't cry, but I think I said some bad words.
I cried.
I think I said bad words.
And then
wow, what a garden.
all bushes out, and the watermelons cover everything. You have these huge mammoth sunflowers in the middle of it. Those always make me happy, so that I try to do that every year because I really like the way that looks.
What is that? Come over here and tell me about this, girl.
Okay. So I know it kind of looks messy right now, but this is compost. This is 18-day thermophilic hot compost. And I started composting about 18 months ago is when I first started. I learned again on YouTube. Yeah. And the reason I got into composting is because when I started doing no-dig gardening, one of the main keys of no-dig gardening is you layer lots of compost on things. Yeah. Compost is expensive, extremely expensive, and I could not source it locally at an affordable rate. I did find compost at our the landfill, our municipal compost. I got a lot of that, and I was very disappointed
Yeah.
when everything started yellowing and dying off because it just doesn't have enough nutrients in it.
No.
So I started learning how to do my own compost, and this is mainly chicken bedding out of my chicken coop, mixed with leaves and just grass clippings and other various substances across the property.
And so then you just turn it every day? Is that what you do?
It's every other day.
Every other day. And you keep it wet?
You keep it wet and you keep it covered, because keeping it covered helps to keep the moisture balanced correctly. So you're not too wet or too dry.
Too dry, gotcha.
It just helps keep everything stable.
And then you can use it in 18 days. It's not going to be like, because a lot of people say with like the chicken manure and stuff, you have to let that set for several months or it's too hot.
So that is true if you're not using thermophilic composting practices. So what makes it thermophilic is that it gets really hot, and it gets really hot because bacteria is growing and proliferating at a very rapid rate. And how you achieve that is by flipping it very, very often.
Right.
So you have to have the ideal ratios, have enough water in it, and aerate it every other day by flipping it. And with the ideal circumstances, yes, you can get compost in about 18 days.
And so what I'm going to tell you is Farrah
okay.
actually did a video about this.
I did, yes.
And so I'm going to link that in the description below so you can go out, and she gives really good detail on how she started. It was your first time you did it.
Yes, that video was my first time, and I've done it many times since. I've learned a lot about it, and I've actually been speaking at the Farm Where You Live conferences, doing classes on composting.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. But I'm going to link that video down below for you to go check out. So
I'll have to do an update video.
Yes, do an update. Well, you want me to wait till you do an update?
No, it's fine.
It may or may not be linked below.
No, link the old one. I'll get an update one.
Okay, now what I would like him to do, if you're all right with it, is just take a real quick, short little break.
Yep.
And then I want you to show me around your property, talk a little bit about this house that's here, and then I'd like to see your animals.
Okay.
You okay with that? I'm so jealous of your car. Farrah, you've talked about living here on your parents' land.
Yes.
And now, have your parents always lived here?
Yes. So the house you see behind us, this was built by my great-grandfather, my dad's grandfather, and it was built back in the, I don't remember the exact date, but like the late 1800s.
Okay.
And so this property has been in the family since before then.
Wow.
There was actually another house on a different part of the property that was torn down, and this was built.
Wow.
So the exact date and how long, I'm not sure. But it's been a long time.
So it is family land for a long time.
It's family land. It will be family land for the foreseeable future. Yes.
Okay, so that is a huge blessing for you. Okay, what we're going to do now is just kind of take a short walk back here by your chicken coop. Okay. Is that fine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you follow us okay with that, Mira? It's just a real short walk.
Yep, it's not a problem. Okay. It might be a little bumpy, but we'll edit it.
You're all right. nice and cool back here. So tell me about this chicken house you have going on here.
Yeah. So this chicken house was built 2019. And it started when when I decided I wanted chickens, and I asked my dad if I got chickens, could I keep them over here on his property, and he said yes, and he's like, and I'll do you one better. He said, if you and your husband, my husband's William, he's very handy, he's like, if William builds the chicken coop, I will supply the materials.
Oh, nice.
So he bought all the materials, and he had the design that he wanted built, and we just had to do the building, and that's what we ended up with. That's the result.
Amazing.
So it's way bigger than what I originally wanted, you know, because I was going to start small.
Yeah, no.
I was going to have like 10 chickens max.
Yeah.
And now we have probably about 40 chickens right now, 5 turkeys, and then a dozen or so guineas.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Yeah.
So you have just the 2 turkeys? Oh no, you 4 turkeys.
we have 2 toms and 3 hens.
And 3 hens. There she is. Okay, now do you get your chickens, like you incubate them, or you just let the moms do it, or you buy them?
We do a combination of both.
Okay.
We originally started buying them, but this year we've been incubating our own, and we've had several mamas go broody, and we hatched out some eggs. So and there's a little small coop behind you here.
Right.
Oh, we call that our broody mama apartment, and there's actually 3 hens with about a dozen chicks right now that they all hatched out themselves and are taken care of together.
That's amazing. Now let me ask you, sometimes in this lifestyle, it's hard to find other people that, you know, enjoy raising chickens and enjoy gardening, and, you know, you can feel alone.
Very much so.
So can I know you did a lot of Googling and stuff like that, but my idea for this series was to expose your story, what you're doing, to other people who, so they can get to know you. They can learn and listen to where you've come from, and maybe something you say or show them will inspire them. But when it comes to finding other people, you know, how do you do it? So how do you find your community?
The short answer is social media.
Social media. Okay.
Social media. So when we started with chickens, at that time I knew nobody who had chickens.
Right.
So I wanted to learn about them, so I started Googling, ended up on YouTube watching others take care of chickens, and that's how I learned.
Right.
And then through learning all of these things, it leads you to different people's accounts.
Yep.
And then suddenly somebody pops up that's in South Carolina, and you're like,
what?
And I thought they were everywhere else, not here.
Right.
And I happened, actually one of the first people I ran across was Jesse Bickley from Willowbrook Homestead.
Right.
And he was one of the first people that I found on Instagram that was local to me.
Right.
And then we ended up striking up a conversation, and then through him I was able to meet a bunch of other people.
There you go.
And it's one thing has led to the other, and ultimately I got to meet you.
Yep.
And then on top of that, through meeting those people, then it opens up other opportunities like the Farm Where You Live Festival.
Right.
And I've met so many people through there.
Yep.
And so, but the short answer is social media, and just like not staying on there all the time, but just keeping your eyes and ears open.
Right.
And when you see somebody that's doing something similar to you, reaching out and saying, hey, nice garden, or can you tell me about your chicken? And
right.
And it just be friendly.
Yeah, that's it. Like Googling or searching on Facebook for like events, coming up events in certain areas, and attending those. We went to the All About the Herb down in Lexington. We had never been to that before.
I wanted to go and I had to work that day. But
it was really good, and we met some great people there, and actually some people I know on Facebook and had never met were there. So that's how we do it too. So social media is the theme.
Social media, and then just jumping out of your comfort zone when possible.
Right, right. So if you had to do it all over again, Would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you do it the same way?
You know, I can't say that. I'm sure there'd be a lot of similarities, but I know so much more now than I did then. I have a stronger knowledge base, and there will be a point where we start from scratch again when we buy property of our own. And so I'll start out in some similar ways, but there'll be a lot of different ways and different routes that I go, just because I have a stronger knowledge base now.
Right.
And I've tried some things and learned what I like and what I don't like.
Right.
Like, for example, this chicken coop is lovely. It's served us well. I love it. When we move to our future property, wherever that's going to be, we're probably not going to build a static chicken coop.
No.
We're probably going to do a mobile coop system that we can move every day with portable electric fencing.
Yeah, and why would you do that?
Upkeep. I don't have to clean out a coop that way, not to the same level that you do now. It provides them with fresh grass every day, which when you have a static coop and a fence like this, they quickly deplete the grass, as you can see.
Right.
So it's healthier for them, it's cleaner for them ultimately, and it does require a higher level of management, but ultimately I feel like it's better for the animal.
Yeah.
I have let them free range a couple times here and there, like in the late afternoons, just to give them a few hours, but know that they'll ultimately be going back soon. Because when left unattended, they will destroy the garden.
Oh yeah,
very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that from our onion situation.
Yes.
So, now I know you have sheep. And how many sheep do you have?
I only have 2 sheep right now.
You have 2 sheep. Okay, and now why have you chosen sheep?
We chose sheep because they're small, so what we wanted was a meat source.
Okay. Oh, so you're going to eat them.
So ultimately, they will provide us with meat.
Okay.
I think the 2 that we have now we're going to use as breeders for future meat, but that is the ultimate goal. But we chose sheep because, number one, they're smaller, not like a beef cow. They respect fences a lot more than goats do.
Okay.
I know that goats are very hard on fences just from hearing other people talk about it. And we can keep them moved around in portable electric netting and move them to different areas of the property without establishing permanent fencing.
Gotcha.
And we didn't want to establish a lot of permanent fencing here just because we know we're going to be moving at some point.
Right.
And so we're trying to be mobile as possible.
Right. Okay. This is a really beautiful tree over here.
Yes.
When I just look here and I just see, do your kids have a heyday on those branches?
They love it. They love it.
Can you see this, Mary? Now, did you climb and have fun on this tree as a kid?
Of course, yes.
And does it has to bring you wonderful memories when you see your own children
It does.
playing on this.
They call it their climbing tree.
I can see why.
And I have no idea how many hundreds of years old this is, but
oh my gosh.
it's been here and it's looked like this for all of my memory.
And is it a pin oak? Do you know? Or I don't even know what kind of tree it is.
I know it is a type of oak, but exactly what type I'm not sure.
It looks.
I guess it's a live oak. It never fully loses its leaves.
Right. I have one exactly like this in my front yard. I mean, not exactly like this, but the same type of tree.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
My favorite thing is that arching branch right there.
Yeah.
The guineas like to perch up there and just line up.
And pretty amazing.
It's nice to look at.
So this is something beautiful that you just wouldn't see it every.
No, this is a piece of history here.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it just has to be really sweet when you see your children out here climbing on a tree that
They love it.
So that's another just like really awesome thing with living on family land.
At that point in time, I thought it was a crazy idea, and I don't know why I even thought of it.
So this is your tucked away little home.
This is home for now.
This is great. This is a great space.
Thank you.
It feels so good. It just feels good back here.
So we so we wanted to buy land. We knew that was our goal. We couldn't buy land without selling our home.
Right.
I did not want to try to get a house ready to sell and be available to do
Yep.
showings with 6 children.
Exactly.
And so we thought it'd be best to move out completely and live in a camper. So we bought this camper used on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
Renovated it, and this is where we are now. So it works out well for us.
It works good for you?
It works good for us. It's tight, of course, but it's a learning experience.
But I imagine with this great weather in South Carolina, all these wonderful trees that you have, your children probably spend a tremendous amount of time outside.
We spend the vast majority of our
Yes.
life outside.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I thought it was a crazy idea, and I
Right.
don't know why I even thought of it.
So are you camping out? Do the kids like to camp out a bit down there, or what's the story?
That was a gift from Grandpa, and yes, the kids on the weekends will ask, can we go sleep in the tent tonight?
Of
And
course.
They like to have their own camping adventures.
Right.
You know, we're camping 100% of the time, but then they like to really camp.
Really camp. It would be for anybody watching, because I can't do it.
That's okay.
And that's okay though.
That's absolutely okay.
But I could find somebody who does do it and supplies for people like me who don't do it.
You support the people who do.
Right, that's
And
what I'm
that's
saying.
what makes it
yeah,
work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it does work. Because, you know, I can't be like everybody else. You can't be like everybody else, because we're all different. But the thing is, you come together in the community, and that's where, like, you know, I can do from you and you can do from me, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So, yeah. So let's have a look at your meat birds. Now, how long do they have to?
Do you need a rooster?
No.
I got an extra rooster
No.
you can have.
No. No. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I only have hens. So, sheep.
Yeah.
Did you name them?
Janet and Rhonda.
Janet and Rhonda. After something in particular?
Those are names my kids picked out.
Oh, okay.
I think they actually came from the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
But no, my kids picked that out. That's
Most
what they
people are naming, I'm finding, have named their pets. And everybody has, like, somebody has like a music theme going on.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's got a movie theme going on. So it's just kind of.
Yeah, I like.
Hi.
I like. I was gonna say old lady names, but maybe middle-aged lady names. I just shot.
Are you all right?
Middle-aged lady names. I just shot.
Are you all right? Did it like really get you hard?
I don't know.
Are you all right?
It's okay. My husband's laughing at me.
Do you need to relax a minute? Are you all right?
At me.
Do you need to relax a minute? Are you all right? Did you get that mirror?
Don't touch the fence first, Shell.
No.
Learn from my mistakes.
You turned it
Do you need to relax a minute? Are you alright? Did you get that mirror?
Don't touch the fence first, Shell.
No.
Learn from my mistakes.
You turned it
Don't touch the fence first, Shell.
No.
Learn from my mistakes.
You turned it off?
I turned it off.
Okay.
You're touching all you
Are
want
you
to.
teasing or you really did?
Yeah.
Or
Well, at least
They're a
I'll let
little
you.
skittish sometimes.
I just put my hand in and let them
They're
snip on it.
curious.
Hi. Now which one is this?
This one is Janet. Rhonda
Hi.
has the brown splotch on her face.
And so do you shear them?
No, these are hair sheep.
Oh, okay.
So they do get kind of woolly-ish, but they will shed their own fur, their own hair.
Their own hair?
Uh-huh.
I just learned something. I did not know that. And you move them around
We
quite
do.
often?
We use
or-
this portable electric netting, which obviously works very well.
Yeah.
And we move them to different areas of the property. So you can see they actually just came off of the area that
Right.
you're on.
I hear.
And we moved them here just yesterday.
Now, do they like all this kind of stuff? Do they eat everything, or is there just certain?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say thank you so much for having me out to this beautiful, beautiful place. It's absolutely lovely here.
Thank you.
And your garden, animals are so healthy, and they look so strong and happy. So,
Thank
you know,
you.
it's been a real pleasure being out with
Thank you,
today.
Rochelle.
I appreciate it.
Making friends with you.
Oh,
and
thank you so
learning
much.
from each other.
Yes. Yep. So.
Now you're on point. You had to say.
What were you saying?
I was just saying I never really entertained the thought of being a homesteader when we lived back in Kansas City about 8 years ago. I never even dreamed that I would do anything like this, and one thing led to the next.